Hello everyone, welcome to Joystick Lab. In today's video, I'm going to start talking about AR Foundation, which is a cross-platform AR plugin by Unity. So we can develop the app once and we can build that both for Android and iOS. So this tutorial series is going to be about developing an AR application to draw different kind of floor tiles in your home. So what I plan to do is that creating multiple tutorial series on different kind of AR foundation project that will give you both a good portfolio for your next job, or you can also learn different features of AR foundation while developing all these applications. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do to set up AR Foundation is go to Windows and then here something called Package Manager. Inside Package Manager we have a few package which is already used in our project, and if you wait for a while or if you click on the advanced and just click on show preview packages, you'll see all the package that we can install is being shown here. What we need here is the AR Foundation package with its subsystem and the AR Core and AR Kit plugin just for our build so that it supports both Android and iOS. So let's start by installing AR Foundation. Click on install, it's going to take a while. So when you install the AR Foundation, the subsystem is already automatically installed by the AR Foundation plugin. The next thing we need to do is download or install the AR Core XR plugin, and finally the AR Kit XR plugin. Awesome. So when all the packages are installed, the next thing we need to do is configure our build so that we can build the app to Android or iOS. So for iOS, I'll create a different tutorial and show you how you can configure different settings for iOS devices. For this tutorial, I'm just going to use the Android device settings. So click on Android and select switch platform. And here we can go to player settings. And then first of all, you can put a company name. Down here where you have the other settings, you have to make sure that the multi-threaded rendering is switched off because it's not supported in Android. We have to make sure that the identification in the package name is correct, so com.some company name and then the name of your app. And this is important, the minimum API level for ARKit, the minimum API level is 7. So we need to make sure that this minimum API level should not be less than 7 in your build settings. That's it. And there are some other settings for AR Core support and stuff, but we don't need that because AR Foundation handles that automatically. Okay, that's awesome. Then what we can do next is start building our first AR application. To do that, first of all, we don't need this main camera. This is, we can just delete that. This is just for 3D games, right? We just need an AR camera. To create that, we can right click on the hierarchy, go to XR, and then we can say that we can start a new session. So we just click on the AR session. And also we need to create a origin. So when we do this with the origin, there is a AR camera automatically built in there that gives us the access of the phone camera, right? And if I click on the main AR camera, you'll see that there is a few script automatically loaded in there. One of them is a tracked post driver, which gives us the the pose of the camera of the device. And there is AR camera manager, which has fixed or automatic focus, and the light estimation is disabled. So we just need to keep all the default settings for now. And if some of the settings doesn't make any sense for now, that's completely okay. In future tutorials, when we have some other advanced topic, we're going to do most of the stuff from scratch. I think that in that time everything will make more sense. But just to create a new session, we don't need to learn much about the camera manager and the backgrounds. For now, we can think about that. Okay, these are the default, we should keep it like that way. Awesome. The next thing we need to do is create a plane. So how this AR plugins work is that most of the times they focus on the markerless detection. If you have looked into the other tutorials on Vuforia that I have provided in my channel, you would see that there is two different kind of detections, right? One is marker based, one is markerless. So markerless detection is basically done through detecting a plane, a surface, which can be either horizontal or vertical walls, right? So it grabs all the feature point from those floor and try to draw a plane or a mesh on top of that, so we can see that okay, this is the plane and this is where we can put our stuff. So the visualization of the plane is handled by the default plane um, prefab, which is already provided by AR Foundation or game object, right? So this game object is going to automatically handle the visualization of the plane. So that means whenever we move our camera, we can see that there is a plane being drawn on the top of the plane. We'll see that in a while. So if some of the stuff is not making much sense, just stick with me. Okay, so there is a few component in here. As you can see, there is a airplane script, there is a visualizer script, and this script is basically responsible for drawing the surface. Okay, and there is a mesh collider, so that any rigid body, if we create a rigid body in future, just throw a maybe a ball or a toy on um, top of the plane with gravity, then it can collide with it. And there is a mesh renderer, which is going to be the visual of the plane, and finally line renderer to draw some line on the edges. So now, to see the plane actually working in our phone, the last thing we need to do is go to our session origin and then create a plane manager. So if I search for AR plane manager, so you can see that there is a script comes up here and it asks for a plane prefab. So what we can do is create a new folder, call it prefabs, drag and drop the AR default plane on there, and finally just drag and drop the prefab to the to the plane prefab field, and I can just delete this, right? So that's it. This is how you detect a plane and show a visualizer on top of it. Let's see this in action. So if we now go to File and Build Settings, we should first of all add the scene that we are currently working on. Then hit on Build and Run. Make sure that your device is connected to the computer. And if I save and replace the APK, you can see there is an error which is happening for the Vulkan API. Okay, so if I go to the player settings, what I forgot to do is that there is an option under the other settings. Inside player settings, you'll see that there is an option called graphics API, right? So Vulkan is not supported by AR Core, so we need to delete that, and then it should work. If we now again hit build and run, So it will build the app, and let's see how it looks in our Android application.